Deep in the jungles of Honduras, where vines now strangle ancient stones and howler monkeys echo through empty plazas, lies one of history's greatest mysteries. For over 1,000 years, the towering pyramids of Copán have kept their secrets locked away, buried beneath centuries of silence. This was once the beating heart of the mighty Maya Empire, a civilization so advanced they calculated Venus's 584-day cycle with accuracy that wouldn't be matched until the invention of modern computers. They created long-count calendars that tracked time across millions of years. Their mathematicians invented zero independently, centuries before it reached Europe through Arabic numerals. But then, around 900 AD, something catastrophic happened. The great plazas fell silent. Construction stopped mid-project. Royal dynasties that had ruled for centuries simply ended. Archaeological evidence shows that Copán's population, which had reached nearly 20,000 people, collapsed within decades. Today, scientists have unlocked the genetic secrets buried in ancient Maya bones. What they discovered rewrites everything we thought we knew about the rise and fall of this remarkable civilization. The story begins in 426 AD, with a single man whose arrival would reshape Central American history. Kinich Yax Kuk Mo, which translates to the sun-faced first Quetzalcoatl, appeared in the Copán Valley like a figure from legend. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to call him Mo from here on out. Ancient hieroglyphic inscriptions on one of Copán's altars record that he arrived in 426 AD, carrying a special scepter that marked him as a legitimate ruler. But the inscriptions raise more questions than they answer. How did an outsider gain acceptance in an established Maya community? Archaeological evidence suggests he came from Teotihuacan, the massive metropolis near modern Mexico City that dominated Mesoamerica during the 4th century. Teotihuacan was larger than contemporary Rome, with over 100,000 inhabitants and trade networks spanning from the American Southwest to Central America. Our boy Mo brought more than political authority. He introduced new architectural styles, religious practices, and artistic traditions that blended Central Mexican influences with local Maya culture. Under his dynasty, Copán would flourish for 16 generations, producing some of the most sophisticated art and scientific achievements in the ancient Americas. By the way, if you're enjoying the content so far, go ahead and subscribe to our channel Ancestry Code to uncover more hidden history of our ancestors. Scientists at Trinity College Dublin extracted ancient DNA from 7 individuals buried in Copán during its golden age. This genetic archaeology revealed connections spanning thousands of years and thousands of miles. The DNA analysis revealed that Copán's population was far more diverse than previously understood. The 3 women and 2 additional men in the study carried mitochondrial DNA haplogroups A2 and C1, maternal lineages found throughout the Americas, from Alaska to Patagonia. More intriguingly, the genetic data showed evidence of recent ancestry from highland Mexico, particularly regions like Oaxaca, where the Zapotec civilization flourished. This highland Mexican component comprised about 6% of Copán's genetic makeup, suggesting ongoing migration and intermarriage between distant Maya communities. Isotopic analysis of tooth enamel, which records childhood diet and reveals geographic origin, confirmed that many of Copán's elite were born elsewhere. The strontium and oxygen signatures in their teeth didn't match local geology, proving they had migrated to Copán as adults. This genetic mixing aligned with historical evidence of Copán's extensive trade networks. Archaeological finds include obsidian from central Mexico, jade from Guatemala's Motagua Valley, and marine shells from both Pacific and Atlantic coasts. Copán wasn't an isolated jungle city. It was a cosmopolitan center connecting diverse Maya regions. Using a technique called identical by descent analysis, which examines shared DNA segments to estimate population size, researchers calculated that Copán's effective population peaked around 19,000 individuals in 730 AD. This demographic boom was powered by intensive maize agriculture. Maya farmers had developed sophisticated raised field systems, terracing, and water management that allowed them to support unprecedented population densities. Archaeological surveys show that virtually every arable hectare in the Copán Valley was under cultivation by 750 AD. The genetic data pinpoints exactly when this system began to fail. Around 750 AD, the population started declining rapidly. By 820 AD, when the last dated monument was erected, Copán's effective population had dropped to perhaps 5,000 people, a 75% collapse in just 70 years. Multiple catastrophic factors converged to destroy Maya civilization in the 9th century. Paleoclimatic data from lake sediments and cave formations document severe droughts in both the 8th and 10th centuries, and again from 1020 to 1100 AD. These weren't ordinary dry spells, they were megadroughts lasting decades. The drought coincided with intensifying warfare between major Maya centers. Hieroglyphic texts record devastating conflicts between Tikal and Calakmul, the two superpowers of the Maya world. Copán found itself caught between competing spheres of influence as trade networks collapsed and alliances shifted. Archaeological evidence reveals growing social stratification during Copán's final centuries. Elite residences in the Acropolis grew increasingly elaborate, while commoner housing showed signs of malnutrition and disease. Skeletal remains from this period display higher rates of childhood growth disruption and violent death. The famous hieroglyphic stairway, completed around 755 AD, may itself document this crisis. Its 2,200 glyphs constitute the longest Maya text ever discovered, but much of it recounts military defeats and political instability rather than celebrating victories. Copán's agricultural system was pushed beyond sustainable limits. Ancient pollen analysis shows massive deforestation in the 8th century as farmers cleared forests for fields and fuel. Soil cores reveal increased erosion as protective vegetation disappeared. The Maya had inadvertently created an ecological trap. Their sophisticated farming techniques could support large populations during good years, but the system became fragile when stressed. When the droughts hit, there were no reserves to fall back on. What happened was demographic and political collapse, not extinction. The great ceremonial centers were abandoned, but Maya communities survived in smaller settlements throughout the region. They maintained their languages, agricultural practices, and cultural traditions even as their political systems transformed. Spanish colonial records from the 16th century describe thriving Maya communities in the Copán region. These people spoke the same Chortii Maya language, recorded in ancient inscriptions. They grew the same varieties of maize, beans, and squash. They organized their communities around the same basic social structures. Today, over 7 million people across Mesoamerica identify as Maya, speaking 30 different but related Maya languages. Genetic studies confirm their direct descent from ancient populations like those at Copán. The Q1b Y chromosome lineage found in Copán's ancient rulers remains common among modern Maya men. The A2 and C1 mitochondrial haplogroups discovered in ancient Maya women continue in their descendants today. The story of Copán offers sobering lessons about sustainability and social resilience. The Maya created one of the world's most sophisticated civilizations, but their success contained the seeds of vulnerability. Population growth, environmental degradation, climate change, social inequality, and political instability combined to overwhelm their adaptive capacity. These challenges sound remarkably familiar to modern observers, yet the Maya story is ultimately one of survival and adaptation. Their cities fell, but their people endured. Advancing technologies promise even deeper insights into Maya history. researchers are beginning to extract pathogen DNA from ancient remains, potentially revealing how epidemic diseases spread along trade routes. Environmental DNA from sediments may reconstruct ancient ecosystems in unprecedented detail. Protein analysis might identify specific foods and even cooking methods from archaeological contexts. Each new discovery adds another piece to the complex puzzle of Maya civilization, revealing not just what happened, but why it happened and what we can learn from it. The Maya never vanished into the jungle mists of romantic imagination. They transformed, adapted, and persevered through one of history's most dramatic societal collapses. That story continues today, written not just in ancient stones and carved monuments, but in the living cells of millions of Maya people who carry forward the legacy of one of humanity's greatest civilizations. This was Ancestry Code, and if you like this content, go ahead and leave a comment letting us know your thoughts.